Um, so before we start the draft, I'm very curious to hear everybody in the chat's opinion about the last quote unquote last master set that's coming out. How are you feeling about it? Do you like the MSRP? Um, excluding the box toppers because those are sort of a weird in the League of Their Own Expeditions type hotness, I would suppose. How do you guys feel about it in the comments? Um, do you guys like the idea? Does it seem like it's a great move? Do you not like it? If you do like it, what do you like about it? Okay, that's fair. Um, I know, like, for me personally, normally on these spoilers for these master sets, most of the time it feels that they blow their load right away on the initial showing of it. And yeah, they showed off all the box toppers, and that's cute. But like so far from what I've seen, and also Fessler 23, I respect your opinion because it's the most honest one that's going to be up there. Um, I feel like they've already showed all the quote unquote good stuff, and I feel like it's a very medium good stuff. There are some good cards, I will give it that, but I don't think good cards necessarily craft a set. And there's way too many, in my opinions, duds. Things like the Lava Claw Reaches, that's awful. Stirring Wildwoods, awful. Urborg, awful. Um, the Ulamog, while that's technically the more iconic of the two, I feel like the one from Eldrazi would have been a better pick because that one's actually seeing a lot more play in terms of competitiveness, and it's still played in EDH decks just as much as the regular Ulamog is. Um, I mean, I guess I'm okay with another Emrakul reprinting. I just feel like it's whatever. The goof art, I like the new Tarmogoyf art. I really do. It's like a take on the Modern Masters arts, which I think is lovely. If you ask me, it looks like some unused art they had. They were laying around, they already paid for it, and they're like, well, we might as well use it somewhere. Let's just throw it in here. The Colonnade reprint definitely had to happen for sure. Um, but I mean, looking at those 40 cards right now, I think it was 40. I feel like the bad definitely outweighs the good because as it is right now, it looks like you're pretty much banking on a bomb mythic or potentially a horrible awful rare. Now for a print or a set that has a MSRP of $14, I feel like no rare should be less than $7 or $8 because when you open up your $15, $14 pack or 20 or whatever they inflate it to, and you open up a lava cloud reaches, you're either going to A, shoot the dude behind the counter because of the fact that that was a crap rare, or two, you're going to punch yourself in the balls because you just spent $14 on a bulk land that ain't nobody really care about. Yes, there's EDH players, that's cute. Uh, I'm not going to say I don't factor EDH players into stuff because they are the reason why some cards have spiked astronomically for utterly no reason. Um, the Dark Depths art is hot. But I don't think people were like, oh my god, if we could just get Dark Depths again, or oh god, if we could get Krakus again. I mean, eh, I look at this out right now and I go, they're not really going out with a bang, they're going out with an overpriced whimper. Hopefully, I'm hoping for great uncommons. I want to see like Path to Exile again, though it doesn't really need to be reprinted. It's at least a good uncommon. Let's see a Lightning Helix again. Maybe something like Boros Charm. But after seeing the Lava Cloud Reaches, I have a feeling like they made poor life choices because instead of going, well, this is a reprint set, let's reprint the cards people want and need, it is instead, let's reprint cycles because we're wizards and that's more cute. That drives me nuts. You're going to charge me $14 a pack, and instead of going with key cards that people want and or need, you're going to go with cycles because you're wizards. I hate that. That kills me. There's fast lands that need to be reprinted. You print Lava Cloud Reaches. Really? Like that's unacceptable in my opinion. It's a reprint set. There's no rhyme or reason to it. Just throw cards in there. Also, tonight for our beer of the night, we're having a Anchor Steam beer. If I remember correctly, this is the only beer brewed that can be considered a steam beer. It is brewed in San Francisco, It uses very primitive techniques for their brewing. Um, I don't really know how to explain it. I like it. It hasn't made me sad yet, but it's definitely a beer. I have no problem with that. Okay, I want to comment on that. Enemy fetches. One, they were in Modern Masters 2017. It's whatever. Two, Wizards has announced that for Arena, they're coming up with some form of another new format coming out soon. I feel like a great cutoff point for that would be Dominaria. Here's why. You have all 10 shocks because of the Ravnica block, and you have all 10, well, not Dominaria, Ixalan, excuse me, started Ixalan. And then because of Ixalan, you'd have all 10 check lands. I don't feel like they want to keep printing fetches for other formats. I feel like they did that with Standard. They saw what happened. Yes, they're great for Modern and all that good stuff. But I have a feeling like they're already making a new format in the works. And I feel like they would not want fetches in those formats. Because then they'd also have to reprint uh, the friendly ones again at some point. Because as Modern, yeah, because as Modern first showed when it came out, uh, there was no reason for Marsh Flats to be pushing $100 because Jund played four of them so they could cast their Johnny off it because they needed that white source. Um, I don't know if it's not going to be a standard set and they haven't really announced any new crazy product outside of this being the last master set, which I don't believe it will be. I just don't feel like they're going to reprint enemy fetches again this fast, seeing as how long it took to print them from Zendikar to MM17. And the other problem that grounded me with MM17 was how small the print run was in comparison to Modern Masters, what was it, 2015, MM2? They really, I am daddy, you would be correct. I just feel like they really missed the ball on that. And we're going to print them in a set and we're going to greatly reduce the allocation from MM2. Why would you do that? You know, they printed more relevant cards in MM3 and they completely and utterly cacked the allocation on it, the print run on it, which to me was ridiculous. You know, you're showing to me that they may be treating Modern like they treated Legacy. Yeah, it's a great format. People play it, people love it, people like it. We don't make enough money off it, so we're just going to slowly, one by one, kind of just start pushing stuff off to the side. Modern Masters was a great idea. Eternal Masters was a fairly good idea. I don't think it was a horrible idea. The set panned out more like Commander Masters than anything. Iconic Masters, as we all know, was a horrible thing, and I just feel like the problem with that was the set was so leaked in advance that all the excitement for it just went poof gone, uh, and that was a small little mismark on their part. But I feel like they really have to relook at their reprint stuff because they can say, "Oh, we're hurting collectors," but they also keep saying, "Well, we're going to make sure that we jam the reprints that people want," and then you're not really giving us the reprints that we want or the ones that we need. And to stand on this point as well, I have all my stuff that I need. I have all my legacy cards. I have all my modern cards. I'm all for them reprinting. When I had a store, not so much, just because it sucks when your stock takes a big dip in value. It's cute that more people will buy it, but it also hurts your bottom end because you've already invested the money out there to get them. So now, probably what you paid for them is what you're going to end up getting back for them. And that sucks. And it also feels bad to like remove stuff from your case and kind of sandbag it because then you're only shorting your community. Depending on how big your community is, it might not be too bad, but it's still a feel bad moment for everybody when stuff like that happens. Um, Stormcrow, LOL. Pretty much all the low enemy fetches. Oh no, I completely agree with you on that. Um, but the it's because the ally ones came out in cons, which was a standard set. So unless they're going to flood the market and put them into a standard set, which I don't feel like they will, because I know Wizards really doesn't like fetches that much, and I know a lot of players complain about them too because the amount of playing your fetch, cracking your fetch, searching for a land, that does lead to some cheating, I'm not saying everybody cheats, but it does lead to some cheating. And the fact that you printed them in Zendikar, which was cute, and then the next time you reprint them, you only put them in a master set that you hack the allocation or the print run down to like an eighth or a ninth of what you had for a MM2. That's them knowing what they have, choosing to not do what they need to do. I don't know why. MM2 sold fantastically for them. MM3, I'm sure, sold fantastically for them. I feel like even if they would have had more MM3 out there, it still would have sold fantastically. I don't feel like you had to hack that. Iconic Masters was a dud because the set was bad. Eternal Masters kind of started out as a dud, gained a little value now that um, DRS got hit. Yeah, that's going to go down a little bit. Um, and some of the other cards in there sort of lost their luster. I know Jace went up, which was great because it did push the EV of a box of that. But I mean, there's still too much kind of like dead stuff in there, which kind of sucks. Um, but I guess that's enough random ramblings for now. We're gonna jump into our Dominaria draft, and hopefully, we draft well. Uh, we have a pretty good record overall for draft. I think I just have two really bad ones where I flopped miserably. Well, see, the problem with Iconic was that before we start the draft here, they went in the direction of like flavor cards, and again, odd cycles. Um, you know, looking at the five dragons from Kamigawa, the green one is garbage. The white Yosei, the white one's okay. Kokusho is fine. The red one is ass. The blue one, I actually off the top of my head don't remember what it does. I think it stole either a creature or a permanent. That's cute. That's not good. Don't print us cycles in reprint sets unless they're a good cycle. Reprint us the cards that we need. Reprint us the cards that we want. You have the power to do it. You make all the cards for the exact same price. You cannot tell me that you can't just rip off a whole bunch of fetches and put them in sets. Or do you have to like... Other thing that drives me nuts too is the upshift of rarity. Now I understand what like Ancient Tomb back in the day, they printed that as an uncommon, that's fine. I'm okay with that as a rare. But shifting things up to Mythic doesn't bring down prices, doesn't help players acquire them, and quite frankly, doesn't help you sell packs because at 10 bucks a pack, or like these new ones coming out 14 bucks a pack, people aren't going to go, oh, well, this is worth the gamble. No, they're going to try to buy the singles. Well, guess what? The singles don't come down enough. They're not buying anything anyway. You're not growing your game. You're not growing your community. You're not growing your player base. Yeah, there's people that are going to buy packs like crazy. You can't control what they do. But you're not helping the people that need it. You're not helping yourself either. Attendance has gone down. The cost of tournaments is going up. The cost of cards are going up. You're making your game harder to play for everybody else. Don't get me wrong, I play in Arena. Arena's theoretically free if you want to look at it that way. But it only has standard. You can only standard so much before you're like, okay, there's just, it's not changing enough. There's not enough move or liveliness. Yo, dog. See, I would only say Avacyn because of Commander. It warrants a price tag. As a competitive card, I would say no. I have to agree with Vile. I have to agree with Burnwillow. Uh, Glimpse, maybe. I mean, yeah, it's played in Legacy, and it's going to go in the UDH decks, but it's whatever. The Sierra Ascendant, that card is just overly priced because of a crazy Fringe Modern deck that's kind of cute. What's to talk about? We're actually talking about how small my dignity is and why I love Taco Bell so much. I love quesadillas. I love things that end with the word Itos, like Cheetos, Fritos, and stuff like that. For real though, I just kind of went on a random rant about the next Master sets that's coming out. Kind of why I feel it's not necessarily great, and why I feel Wizards has kind of been oppressing their player base, at least their newer player base, not so much their older ones. Um, but I feel like they have to really look inwards on themselves and think about this stuff. Now, as someone who has like some reserve list cards and someone who has fairly expensive stuff, it used to bother me, like I said, when I had a store and they would reprint stuff. But it comes to the point where would you rather have more people to play with or more money? And if you're going to play a card game, it comes down to having more players. you're reprinting stuff wrong. Okay? And you can't. I do love the new Fulminator art, but Fulminator's not really seeing a lot of play anymore, so I kind of feel like it's like okay. There's other options now to deal with lands. So, Goof is cute. No, exactly. I mean, instead of worrying about, like, let's get real here. They keep saying, oh, well, for draft, okay? We design sets for draft. How about you redesign your sets, especially your reprint sets, to be about putting cards in players' hands. I don't care if I'm in a draft. Bump Lily down to a rare. More people will have them. Bump other stuff down. Okay? Yeah, their planeswalkers are great, they're good. But you're not helping your community get into your game. You're forcing people out. And there's a lot of people, maybe to a point myself included, to go, wow, this card is this much money? I can sell it and just get out and not feel bad. Like I won't have this deck anymore, but I'll have a lot more money to my name. So for me, seeing high prices is almost an incentive to not want to play, just because I know I can get more money for my cards now than I could before, just because there's a demand for it. Exactly. Then Lily loses value. I remember when those things rotated out of standard and they were $8, and Snapcasters were $8, and I'm like, this is sad. Like, this is gross. And yeah, they blew up, especially once Modern came out and they started seeing more play in Legacy and stuff like that. But if you don't drive the value down, you're only driving players away. And right now, Standard is in a good spot, but I feel like a lot of people lost faith in Standard when they started doing the bannings from Eldritch Moon, and then the bannings continued from there, and there was no sign of a healthy format. And if Standard has to be controlled by a ban list, something is wrong. And there was multiple bans over the course of multiple lists, which tells me they need to refigure out Standard, because if they lose Standard, Wizard loses a good chunk of their money, because they don't really make money off Modern or Legacy or Vintage, except for the tournaments like Card Titan, Channel Fireball, who buy the rights to hold tournaments. That's great for them. How well does that actually run for Channel Fireball? How well does things like that run for Card Titan? I mean, yeah, it gets their name out there, which is great, and yeah, they're big enough to where they can afford to lose a little bit of money and really not care. But your player base, you're killing your player base. And the fact that all these tournaments have been raising in price and not really increasing their prize support either, also bad for the game. You mean to tell me I gotta pay 10 more bucks this year, I no longer get a life pad, I don't get a pen anymore? Is it really that much money that you have to up my price and not give me stuff? Like that sucks too. That's just complete BS in my opinion. I mean, if you mean more careful in card printings, as in like, yeah, we haven't actually started the draft yet. We'll start it now and I'll keep going. Um, so you mean to tell me like, well, I don't know if they have to be more careful with card printings, but I feel like they definitely need either A, better playtesters to actually solve Standard. Um, well, I know I'm not going else. I didn't even know this card was in here. Wow, this is a really old rare from Onslaught. Aw, yeah.